Hi muckers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and on this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you're all doing well. I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because James Charles has not learned anything. And I want you to know my frustration in telling you and doing this video. It comes from a genuine place of disappointment. Basically, James Charles's dating profile has leaked again, and his settings are attracting straight men. He has his profile to say that he is a straight woman looking for straight men on Bumble. And we're gonna go through the profile. It has leaked. Obviously, it's gonna leak. And if anyone's gonna come on here oh my god, this is so sad, he can't do anything in private, he can't do... No. This is a dating profile on a very popular dating app, Bumble. Imagine this was the worst product placement ever, sponsored by Bumble, for fucking this video. James is doing this on Bumble, which is an incredibly popular dating app, by people who aren't celebrities. So of course, I don't have any remorse for him, because of course this profile is gonna get leaked, and I do not feel bad for him. I literally have no sympathy in my heart that this is coming out and he's getting backlash for this, because he, yet again, is choosing to go against all the backlash, go against everyone trying to help him, and he's going on these popular dating apps, which are not meant for celebrities, by the way. James Charles is a celebrity. He's an influencer, he's a YouTuber. He is supposed to be on dating apps like Raya. If you don't know what that is, it's a dating app for people who are well-known. To date other people who are well-known. To protect them, protect the other people. And the fact that after all of this mess with James Charles, first it was with straight boys, then it was with minors, now it has gone back to straight boys again. It is just... Is anyone else just kind of what's the point? He's not learning anything. He obviously doesn't care. And I just think it is such a horrible way to live. I really do. Not only not protecting yourself, but just, again, doing what you've been called out for and apologized for multiple times. I really don't think we're ever going to get through to James Charles. I think he does this, gets backlash, goes silent for a month, and then just comes back and does it again. And I mean, at that point, what is the point? And this is why whenever these scandals happen with James and dating profiles and inappropriate messaging and him coming on to straight guys and stuff like this is why whenever he issues these apologies and people are I see growth, he's actually sorry this time, it's damn, ma. This keeps happening. This keeps happening. And it's until what point is this going to keep happening until? I really want you to understand my frustration here. I don't want to have to keep talking about James Charles doing this. I don't. I need to, though, and I want to, because something needs to happen. Something needs to get through to this person. Before I show you the profile, I want to know your opinion on me just telling you that. That after everything, he is not only... Whoa, my camera is falling. That he's not only just on these apps again, but he is actively seeking out men who are looking for women. And now, James Charles identifies as a gay man. He's been very clear about that. Through all of the scandals, he's talked about that. Right. Let's just get to the profile. We'll talk about it. And nothing will happen about it again. There will be another scandal. Another guy will talk about James Charles was trying to use him. Or another guy will say that James Charles was trying to get pictures of him. Or trying to be forward with him. And it's going to keep happening month and month and month. Now James, the professed desperate person who, whenever he gets called out for any of this behavior, just says, I'm sorry, I'm desperate. And all these little, like, kids eat it up. They're like, we feel bad for James. And then it happens again. How awful of a person does James Charles have to be that after all of these scandals, he still can't grasp a man? How boring do you have to be? After all of this, you're still trying on these apps. And now, people can be on these apps for a long time, right? But James, regardless of everything, how many people publicly have spoken about James, that they've talked with him on dating profiles and he's made them uncomfortable? How many? Are we not, like, seeing a pattern and being like, what's the common denominator here? James likes to continuously, when he gets called out for this, say that it isn't a problem with him. I need some water. Oh my god, this just frustrates me so fucking much. I really, like, I apologize for my, like, tensity in this video, but I'm just really pissed off. How many times has James been called out for this, and he justifies his actions by saying he's just desperate, looking for love, and people are trying to use him because they know that he's famous? How many times are we gonna let him say that to us whenever we know that that's not an excuse? Because this is literally not an issue for any other social media person. This is not an issue for any other celebrity. You know why? Because they have teams advising them, and even themselves, who have never been in controversies for things like this. They just know better. They just know better. And James gets called out for this kind of stuff, and then in like a couple weeks time, we'll go on a podcast or go on a YouTube video and be like, I'm hooking up with all these guys, I was in New York and I was hooking up with all these guys. Like, he'll talk like this, right? And then a month later, there'll be like a scandal. Someone will speak up against him, he'll say that it's bullshit, another 10 will come forward, and then he goes away. This isn't even me being hateful, it's literally not in the slightest. This is a continuous pattern. It's so deranged. So freaking deranged. Is this man ever gonna find a partner? Because obviously these public dating apps in which he's trying to come up in the suggestions, you know, on like, dislike, you know, on like Tinder or Bumble, they're all kind of the same preface, right? He is showing up on the suggestions for straight men. Woman, 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 James Charles, woman, woman. Like, in his settings. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Alright, okay. I'm gonna, like, try my best to remain calm in this video because it's just really frustrating, because he seems to be one of the only YouTubers who can get away with doing the same behavior that he's apologized for over and over and over again. At least with all these other people that we see getting called out for this shit, they don't really do it again, or at least publicly again, right? I think that's a pretty fair thing to say. They're smart enough to at least do it privately. James almost has no shame. And that's a dangerous thing. Whether we want to admit it or not, sweetheart. Alright, here we go. Obviously, a bunch of screenshots have came out. So here we have the first one, right? So it says, James Charles, 22, makeup artist at YouTube. So not even hiding that it's James Charles, the YouTuber. Verified profile coming up on the pages of just standard day-to-day people who are not influencers, not YouTubers, anything of the sort. James Charles, verified profile. James is using travel mode. He's in New York, 15 miles away, living in Los Angeles. So he's using this when he goes on all of these trips. So he was posting in New York not that long ago, so he obviously changed his settings before he went to New York for his Bumble profile to show up on straight males in New York's feed while he was in Los Angeles. You know, just coming up on their page before he's even there, you know, to get his options up, right? About me. Visiting New York for a couple of days. Not looking for friends. Please don't swipe right unless you're interested. Heart emoji. My basic info, 5'10", I never drink, I never smoke, I want a relationship, and I'm a Gemini. My interests, makeup, singing, and good at neither of them, by the way. Making videos, oh, add that one in too. Video games, and horror. Horror is ironic for James Charles. Favorite quality in a person, Outgoing, sarcastic, good at communication. Where's straight male on that? Fan of mine. Like, I do think, and again, this is just my opinion, I think that James Charles loves a good power dynamic. I think he loves a good power play. I think he loves knowing that he's the more successful one in the relationship, and I feel like that's why he's actively seeking out people who will know him from YouTube. You know, if he was to date people within the YouTube space or within that, there would never be issues like this. You know, for an example, Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau dates fellow singers, YouTubers, and as much as people love to criticize Tana Mongeau for it, she's never called out for it because she's dating people within her own field. And now, sorry James, but whenever you're a certain level of success, that does come into play whenever you're trying to date, when you're trying to actively look for a partner. That is a big thing. It's why, even though people criticize Tana for it, there's never a scandal of like a guy or a girl talking about Tana uses her power against them or whatever, because Tana dates people, or at least goes out with people, or is seen with people within the same, as low as it sounds, like follower count or clout level as her. And it's like, for as much as people hate Tana Mongeau, at least she's smart enough or has enough decency to do that. It's just annoying because I know that, like, very soon we're gonna have another one of these scandals to talk about. And it's like, we're singing into a void here. Nothing's ever done. Nothing's ever changed. And it's all done publicly, again. Alright, here we go. So then we have some absolutely fabulous pictures for the men to see. Then we have other ones of him in a skirt, obviously. Alright. I quote too much from TikTok and RuPaul's Drag Race. It's funny. Alright. So, this is the interesting part, right? So the person that was doing this screen recording was showing that they are obviously a man looking for a woman, and they showed their preferences, because people are like, how do we know that your settings are not that you're looking for another man? And so this person was like, alright, I'll show you. And again, I don't know about you, but I didn't have any doubts within my mind that James was doing this, but a lot of people did, because they were like, there's no way that James Charles is doing this after all the scandals. So the person does a screen recording showing their settings on Bumble, which shows what they're interested in, what they're looking for on these platforms, and so, without a question of a doubt, James is showing up under these for what reason? Does he want another scandal? A lot of people ask all the time, you know, these YouTubers love scandals, it keeps them in the news. Maybe James likes being talked about in this incredibly negative way. Maybe he's so deep in it now, maybe he's obsessed with it. Maybe he loves the backlash. What other rational way is there that this keeps happening? Do we know? Do you know? Alright, so here we go. Let me zoom in so you can see. So this person's Bumble filters. This person, not James, the person, I'm interested in woman. Woman. Their setting is woman. It's not everyone. It's not other. It's not men. It's not... You know, these apps are very open to people who are non-binary, which is great as well. But this person specifically chose woman, not other, not non-binary, not people who identify with different pronouns, specifically she, her, woman. So why is James showing up on this? Is it a glitch in the platform? If it's a glitch in the platform, James, please come out and address that. You've been so, actually slow to address these claims in the past, so I'm sure you'll be it with like this. But if this is an issue and we're all interpreting this wrong and this person's lying, you've had no problem shutting people down in the past. I'm interested in woman. Not men, not women, not everyone. It's not a mixture of it. It's solely women. Age. Between 18 and 39. So James Charles shows up under that, obviously. It's interesting because I know if James had his way, it would be way down this way. Under 18. Am I wrong for saying that? That's not a joke. It's a track history. And whenever I used to film these videos, I'm gonna be so transparent with you, I always used to be so scared filming videos on James because I was like, the video can so easily get demonetized and it can be interpreted as, you know, speaking too harshly on him. At this stage, YouTube are aware of it. YouTube demonetized it, and it's in YouTube's best interest that he stops doing this. It's in YouTube's best interest that we talk about this so that he can finally learn and stop doing this. Because it's not okay, and no one else does it. James' profile says that he's a man. Or sorry, that was me being woman. I'm like jumping to conclusions on what it should say. So then this person's profile says distance up to 30 miles away, so that was covering the ratio of James, who was in LA and put his location as New York, so he would show up for people in New York. And here's the thing, I no longer feel the need to not make videos on James or not speak about this just because we've talked about it so much. A lot of the content creators that I know you watch, if you watch my channel, we talk about this shit behind the scenes and we're like, how are we going to make another video on this? Like, how can we talk about this in a different way that's different from last month's one? And it's like, if we're going to call these people out, right, everyone involved, we should also call James out for what he's doing continuously, even if we've already called him out for it. If the videos seem repetitive, it's because the behavior is repetitive. I'm going to end the video by saying, I wish and pray that James Charles learns and stops doing this on these dating profiles for the sake of himself, his career, and the other people at play. And also for the sake of people not being exposed to harmful behavior, both James and the person, for dangerous behavior not being shown, to protect James as well, like, if we're looking out for the best interest in James, to protect himself, if he's trying to show up on, like, this is my thing as well. No one is talking about, and it's a horrible place for my mind to go, right? But I feel that as a man who's in the same sphere as James, right? For the sake of his safety, he really shouldn't be. Unfortunately, there's a lot of homophobic people out there. And unfortunately, that is for a lot of men who like women. And he really needs to protect himself. Not only just protecting other people, protect himself for trying to show up in their feeds. There's a lot of people that might want to meet up with him for the wrong interest. So this is me coming from a place of protecting himself and protecting the people at play. There is just so much that can go wrong here. Oh. Honestly, I'm going to end it off by saying, so I come across nice in this video. I wish him the best. I wish James Charles the best. I wish the people who are, you know, he's coming up on the best. I wish everyone the best involved. Can we please start looking out for situations that have already happened before they happen again, please? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my... Muckers, please, let me know where you're at with this. Please. We can talk about it below. I'm a mess in this video because I'm just like, why? I just don't want to go through another era of this with James where it's like every single day is like more people coming forward with like text messages and trying to expose him, and then this back and forth again. I thought we just got out of it. Alright, I love you and I'm so grateful that you chose to watch this video, and if you watched to the end, you're a trooper. Thank you. Let's talk about it below. Why?